Time now for Down to the Wire here on Vegas Insider. Kevin Rogers with you. Happy to have you with us. 2 weeks of the NFL season are in the books. Week 3 just a few days away. Steelers and Browns on Thursday night from Cleveland. Always a slugfest, literally. We saw it happen a few years ago. But we'll talk about that game coming up. Dave Sharapan will join us, our good friend, member from the Daily Insider and former oddsmaker. He's going to join us in a few minutes to look back at week 2, look at some week 3 things, and just kind of a big old BS session with him. That's what I always like to do with Dave. So that's coming up. Also, Brian Edwards is going to join us in about 15, 20 minutes to talk about college football, some of the big matchups for the upcoming weekend. We'll get to our MLB best bet coming up in just a second. First, I want to tell you about our handicapper heat check presented by VegasInsider.com, your home for the best expert picks in the business since 1997. And today we recognize Alex Smart, who can be found on Twitter at Alex Smart. Alex Smart Sport 1. Alex is heating up in the diamond, a 4-0 record the last 3 days in Major League Baseball. Also, you can score tonight's winning MLB plays by visiting VegasInsider.com/picks or clicking Alex's promo on the Vegas Insider homepage. That is your handicapper heat check. Stay hot, bettors. All right. Now for my best bet of the night for Major League Baseball was a loser last night. We had Corbin Burnes and the Brewers, and they lost to Max Scherzer and the Mets. They didn't look good. Burnes got knocked around. Scherzer was great. So we move on to tonight, and we're going to take a home underdog, and we're going to back the Kansas City Royals. That's right. 7 straight losses they have to Minnesota. All 7 on the road. 3 of them came with Zach Greinke on the mound. Greinke's pitching tonight opposite Dylan Bundy. So we're going to go with Zach Greinke and the Royals tonight. I think they bounced back. They get some revenge. The Twins played like a 27-game series against the Guardians this past weekend. So now they're going to Kansas City. And we're going to take the Royals. We have a strikeout prop coming up in just a little bit. So with all that being said, let us bring in our good friend Dave Sharapan, former oddsmaker. A couple things here, Dave. Number 1, welcome. Number 2, we're wearing slightly similar colors here, which is good. You have your Spirit of St. Louis shirt on, which I like.
Yes.
And the Brownie the Elf. I don't even know. What I love about you, Dave, is I don't know where to begin with you at times. So let's begin with the Browns because you have the Browns hat on. Okay. Oh, I want this first from you. Do you blame Nick Chubb for scoring that touchdown? Because Nick Chubb came out today and he said, I should have fallen down. But you can't blow that lead if you're the Browns. I don't blame him for that.
You play to win the game, right, Kevin? First of all, good to see you. We did not coordinate, but we're always here when we talk. I mean, we're here. Chubb's got to know to go down. He doesn't go down. The guy's got to make the extra point. You still got to protect a 14-point lead with 1:50 left on the clock. I mean, it's impossible, but it's not. The NFL, it's impossible. I mean, it's not, but it feels like it. I'm tired of blame. I don't want to blame people, but, Chubb stepped out last year. Remember when he stepped out last year?
Right.
He lost a lot of people bets, and, Chubb's trying to get paid too. He gets up, he breaks a tackle. Slide, you're a hero. Browns win by 7. Everybody's happy that has the favorite. Instead, the Jets come back behind Flacco. Flacco fires a dart. First of all, where was the coverage on the first touchdown? They pretended like the game was over. They let the guy run down and untouched, however long that was. They get an onside kick, which apparently to the numbers guys, analytics, all this other stuff is like 12% chance or something of getting an onside kick. They get it, no timeouts, and go down and score, kick the extra point, win 31-30. Survivor pool's done. Cleveland money line bets done. The division done. I lose a bet. I got to wear this Brownie the Elf hat. All right. I got to go get the first time in my life. I'm from Pittsburgh. It's nighttime in Pittsburgh behind me to remind me where I'm from. I never had a Browns anything in my life. I lost a bet to Peralta on Bostonian versus the book. The Steelers lost to the Patriots. The loser had to wear Brownie the Elf. So I came on the show today wearing this ridiculous suit for you. You still gave me that line there. I think of you every time I say it.
I have a hot take for you, Dave. When people say, and you're a former odds maker, you've been around this for a long time, people say that the NFL lines are so tight, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
This is what I disagree with. Here's my hot take.
Please.
All these teams are really even, and there's like 1 or 2 plays in the game that swing. Like all these teams are really, really close, and it depends on who makes the play or not. Yes, there's better yes, you have Brady and Aaron Rodgers versus Davis Mills. Yes, there are better quarterbacks, but I think all these teams are really the same, it feels like.
I don't know if this take is as hot as you just read that promo and how hot that thing is. This is real. That's the reality of the NFL right now. It used to be where there was a few really good teams. The rest of the teams were kind of in the middle. And then there's some really, can I say bad words on the show?
Absolutely.
There were some really shitty teams.
Yeah.
Well, now, I mean, I say nobody knows shit all the time, but there's a lot of bad teams. There's a lot of mediocrity. It's made that way with the whole free agency and salary cap and all this stuff. Then throw in a turnover, which is impossible to quantify or model for all those guys, let alone the rules and officials and when they throw the flag and when they don't. There's one or two plays that decide these whole bets. I've been saying it for years in the book. I can't believe we bet real money on this stuff sometimes, and we do because it's fun. But after a week like Sunday in the NFL, I don't know how much fun people have. I really don't. I mean, they had fun Saturday. College games are a lot easier and hold true to form more. I say this all the time. You got to be able to pivot. You got to be able to, if you just keep with that mindset, lead you right into a lot of else. And that's not fun for anybody.
Dave, do you realize that there was a couple kryptonite games like Chaz Palminteri in Bronx Tale, go kryptonite. Yeah. And, we got this. They're shaking hands. Everybody's happy. And then Eddie Mush runs down. And then all of a sudden, they rip the tickets up because they know that they lost. I feel like the Raiders, the Ravens, the Browns, the Rams, those were all go kryptonite. Everything was fine. We're all happy. The Rams up 28-3. This is easy. Raiders up 20-0. Ravens up 21. This is easy. And then all of a sudden just goes to shit in 5 minutes.
Real fast. I still can't believe that the Ravens lost that game. You 35-14 and, start of the fourth quarter, you put that game away. They may come back and backdoor cover, but lose the game outright. I think it was 2,229, 2,229 was the number that a team lost like the Browns did. That's how many games have been played in that situation since the last time that happened. I can't explain what happened with the Raiders. There's no explanation. And that's the other thing I think us in this space and people in the book and people that make plays, sometimes there's no explanation for what happened other than, wow. And then you go, okay, move on. How does that affect them the next game? Who in the hell knows? So, yeah, there was definitely, I love that scene from Kryptonite. Just rip the ticket up. It's done. Atlanta backdooring the Rams.
Atlanta almost won that game. Mariota gets intercepted. They almost won that game.
Right. But then you get to Sunday night and you get to Monday night, doubleheader, favorites, cruise. I mean, you want to talk about the term in the gambling space is a cigar game. Light a cigar, make the bet, light a cigar. You ain't got nothing to worry about. Buffalo, best team in football. Philly, arguably one of the best teams in the NFC. And then Sunday night, the Bears are who we thought they were. Another tremendous quote. And the Packers, they're going to be okay. I don't know why they don't ever try hard in the preseason because maybe they won't lay a stinker in the game one every year that they do. But we thought the Vikings were good after week one. And what happened to them last night? I mean, NFL's tough. It is a true week-to-week league. Kev, I know you're a basketball guy. I've equated it to this. Am I wrong? The NFL's getting closer and closer to the NBA every day, where it's one foul call, one late bucket. You can just watch the fourth quarter and kind of see the whole game in a microcosm. Am I way off in saying that?
No, you're not. And what I want to go back to the Raiders with you for a second. You're based in Vegas.
Yeah.
I think you're the one that said this. If not, I won't attribute it to you. Trends are your friends until they're not, right?
That's it. Yeah,
okay.
I say that, yeah.
So Cliff Kingsbury 6-0 ATS as a road dog last year. He was in his last 2 years, he's something like it was like 12-2-2 as a
Yep.
road dog ATS.
Yep.
Cardinals come in, getting 2.5 at Vegas. That line gets jacked up to 5-6. Kyler Murray's like a one-man show, some of the plays that he was making.
Oh,
But you got to feel like everyone's like on the Raiders thinking, all right, they're going to get this one. Arizona's not good. They got blown up by Kansas City. It's 20-0. This game is over. And then the door's just open for them. And this guy makes the play, scores the touchdown. They get the 2. They have the fumble recovery in overtime. Kyler gets slapped in the face. It's just like, it's unbelievable. You think the game is over, and it is not.
I was down on the strip, actually. Went down and to meet a guy, and, it was halftime. Was it 20-0? It was over. It was done. And I heard somebody I overheard somebody say, well, you could bet the Raiders at halftime. This thing's done. And I was thinking, did you see the games earlier? Nothing's done. And then walked to another book, and it was like 23-15. And I was like, wait a second, they're back in this game. And I saw the end to tie it. I was like, this is if I was in gaming it, I'd have in-gamed Arizona right then. I just thought, okay. And then they get the fumble, scoop and score. It's over. It's hard, Kev. We tell people this all the time. I mean, like, usually September, the odds makers, the books are behind the 8 ball a little bit. The numbers are soft. You're kind of still trying to figure out who's good. I'm with you. I don't think it's a hot take at all. Put up 3 on every game and see what they bet. Watch the end, because it feels like it's in peril almost every game.
Have you, I forgot if you told me or not, are you in survivor pools?
I did not do any survivor pools this year. I would probably already be out. How do you avoid the minefields to get to this point?
I am so far 2-0.
Yes,
but Ravens week 1. I took the Broncos week 2, man. Oh my God.
Whoa.
I'm thinking, like, that's easy. The Texans, you should take care of business. I thought after the Seattle game, all right, they'll come home. Houston blew the big lead at Indianapolis. I'm like, why are you clawing with this Texan team? Why are you kicking field goals 4th and goal at the 1? Like, I'm just not. Why is Russell Wilson not running the ball? Like, what is that? What is going on with that team? I know they won, but my God. And by the way, I do like him against San Francisco this week. But what is going on with that team?
I wish I knew. I mean, I watched the whole Monday night game with Gino because I had Seattle plus the points and told everybody, listen, I would take them on a money line. I think they're live. It's a bad spot. Russ looks cooked. All right. That expression, Russ is cooking. Like, I don't know what it is. It just doesn't look right. Doesn't pass the eye test. And there'll be people that will dive into the numbers and say this and say that. I think their defense is above average, and I think they're going to keep them in games. He's going to have to make plays to have them win games. Now, he can also make plays that will cause them to lose games. He's going to either throw a pick. I mean, in Seattle, they fumbled a couple times inside the red zone, right on the goal line once. That's going to happen. But, like, we advanced them in the summer to 10.5 season wins, to being a, co-favorite to win a division with Kansas City and the Chargers right there, and the Raiders still around. I think it was too much too fast. And I mean, the play is 100% to play them on Sunday. You're supposed to play Denver. Jimmy G comes back. All the power ratings for San Francisco are out. You know what else is out? All those people that plan in the Survivor, they plan their each week matchup all the way through to like Thanksgiving in the circuit, because you got to specifically save a team. Just try to get to week 6. Just try to get to week 6 without planning anything, and then start backing it, reverse engineering, and leave a team. And if you don't have a team for Thanksgiving, it was a hell of a run. I'd rather, last that long than map it out and have had the Colts in either week 1 or week 2 and be out.
Dave, I know this is a terrible strategy. I haven't looked ahead at all to next week. I'm literally NC stating this thing. Survive in advance. Just get through this week. All I care about is this week. That's it.
That's all you can do. I did this a few years ago on a Survivor contest with friends on ESPN. I went and did it and I picked the whole season right. And I know how hard it is. Haven't done it since. Now, you can get in these things for big money. This is life-changing money. It's nothing but stress. And if you get that nice schedule and you're like, all right, I got to save Dallas and, whomever they're playing and whomever they're playing a night game on Thanksgiving and work backwards. So I can't use these teams. All right, who am I using? Here am I using? Who's it? I tried that method. I was out in week 3. I forget it. Just pick a winner. Get through week 6, Kevin. Then you think your stress level's up trying to watch Denver hold on and beat Houston. Wait till 3/4 of the contest is eliminated. I mean, what a deal you got right now. In the Circus Survivor, they started with 6,188 people. You're down to less than 2,000. 2/3 is gone. So you still being alive, that's encouraging. I'm rooting for you. That'd be awesome.
I remember my pick, Dave, for this week. I'm
did?
already locked in.
Let me scan the board here real quick.
You have one choice. That's it. You have one guess.
One guess.
And I've already used the Ravens and Broncos. I wouldn't take them this week.
You've already used the Ravens and Broncos. So you have, wow, this is a really hard week. You got to have a home team. Don't tell me you used the Vikings.
No, I don't trust Kirk Cousins at all.
At home?
No, I don't
trust
care.
them. Who is it?
It's the color of your shirt, the Bengals.
I was going to say them, but I mean, Kev, they're on the road. You remember last time they went to the Jets?
They were laying 11. They're laying 5 this time. Here's my logic, okay?
Oh, boy.
Number 1, Jets off a win, okay? So they're high and mighty. Got the receipts from Robert Saleh.
Correct.
Number 2, you're asking Joe Flacco a 3rd straight game to be old Joe Flacco.
Oh, God.
Number 3.
This has the makings of the worst.
All right.
Ever.
So the Bengals, their first 2 games came against your Steelers and the Cowboys.
Yes.
Against Trubisky and Cooper Rush. Got down 17-3 in each game. Came back and still tied. It's still a shot to win each game. Granted, last week they had to go the length of the field in the final 2 minutes. But just get off to a good start. Get up 7-0. Get up 10-0. I think they got a shot. They've not blown any leads. They've just fallen behind. They've been great in the second half. Terrible in the first half. Just take the lead on the Jets. And I think they got a shot. And they got the Dolphins next week on Thursday night. This is, I hate to say, the must-win, the dreaded must-win.
Oh, God.
You got to get this one. You win this, beat the Dolphins, you're 2-2, you're back in it. But you can't lose the game to the Jets. You can't. This is a season ender.
I put my Joe Burrow glasses on for you. I keep them right here close to the camera and the computer because, 1, they look good, but 2, they're really cool. And Joe Cool makes them look cool. Boy, now you're going to make me sweat this thing all week. Did you already put it in? Can you be persuaded to change it?
I can be persuaded, but here's the options. The Chargers, Herbert, if he's 100%, and it's the Chargers, you can't trust at all.
Right.
Or the Vikings.
Right.
I think Philly's in a trap this week against Washington. I think this is the one. The Eagles are high and mighty.
Damn it. Yeah.
Commanders are terrible because they lost to Detroit. They were down big and they came back, but the Carson Wentz revenge game is ready 1-0 this year, beat Doug Peterson. I think that's the biggest trap on the board is the Eagles.
This is a hard week. I just scanned the board. I mean, those are the plays. You wouldn't consider either Kansas City or Buffalo this week, right? Would you?
The Bills do own the Dolphins. I don't want to burn the Bills. Why do I think the Colts are going to play well this week? I think back at home, they played 2 road games. They look like shit in both of them. I mean,
they did.
Easy. I mean, the fourth quarter, they look bad. But back at home now, I don't know. Is this the one the Chiefs stubbed their toe? I want to save Kansas City. I want to burn Kansas City right now.
This is a hard week. I think it screams Minnesota to me. You get them home off a bad loss Monday night. I think
I'll back the AFC champs before I back those bums. I'm not
fair.
Back them.
Right, listen. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm just trying to present you options because you got it this far.
But I know through 2 weeks, which is a long time. But the Vikings are not playing in prime time, and they're playing a team. Well, Detroit's a 1-1 team, but you're not in prime time, so Kirk Cousins has a shot. When those lights come on, he stinks. But there's no lights on. He's got a very good chance.
It's one of those things. It just keeps happening. And Yes, trends are your friends until they're not. I've been saying it for years, and I keep saying it, and I love it that people are saying it. Thank you for crediting me or even recognizing me. But I don't know what the Lions are. So it's
Yeah.
scary there. I mean, but that's the highest spread of the week other than the Philly game. And usually that's the one that's like flies on shit, for lack of a better expression. That's where everybody goes. So if you're trying to stay away from the game that everybody's going to go to, don't pick the Vikings. I see what you're doing. I just would hate for the Jets to be a story again and you be on the other side of it.
I'll take a shot with them. I'll fade the Jets. That's
All right.
fine.
All right.
What's the deal with this Brown Steelers game Thursday? This line's up to 5, was at 3, and the Steelers swept them last year. What do you think here? Your Steelers, Trubisky's numbers have not been good. They
I'm
could be
taking the
0-2
points.
to pay if the Bengals kick a field goal in week 1. But what do you think with this
As of
game on
right now,
Thursday?
I'm taking the points. I can't do it until it's a new era in Pittsburgh. All right. So no Roethlisberger. With Roethlisberger as a quarterback, I think they lost to Cleveland like 3 times ever in his career. So all the stats, all the trends, all the things will indicate that the Steelers own the Browns. And then you got a whole new regime, a whole new quarterback situation. I mean, like, it's ugly. I was watching the entire game because I wanted the Steelers to win so bad against the Patriots, so I didn't have to hear Matt shit and all the Patriot fan stuff. They can't move the ball. They can't block. So, everybody's crying, want Pickett in. I don't know if you put Pickett in, he's still going to be running. He's still going to be getting hit. They got to change something. I was watching some guys in Pittsburgh that I know. They were at the press conference today. The offensive coordinator is starting to feel the heat. The total's 38. It's going to be another ugly game. They're both going to try to establish the run. I don't know. I Cleveland wins, Pittsburgh covers. That's probably the way it plays out. It's a field goal game. So anything more than a field goal, I'm looking to take. Under, though. Another, if Patriots game against the Steelers was 17-14, I said going into the game, first one to 20 wins. They didn't even get 20. Same thing. The Steelers defense is really, it's top 3 in the league with TJ Watt. He ain't playing, but the defense is still good. They have to pressure Brissett. And then all of that analysis will go out the window as soon as there's a tip ball or a fumble and a turnover. And then who knows what the hell is going to happen.
Dave, before I let you go, give me one
Yes, sir.
baseball play for tonight.
Well, I was opposite you yesterday. I didn't even know this, but I thought Scherzer off the DL. I thought I really like this as a plus.
Mhm.
So then it comes back tonight, and these are good baseball games. Carrasco, short favorite today against the Brewers. I like the Mets again. I think the Mets win the game. Now, in game yesterday, I had the pregame total 7.5. I bet it under in game 6.5, under in game 5.5. And it was the 3-0 homer to go up. So now I'm like, all right, I better bet over, try to get a middle. So I made one bet over 4.5. So I was good.
Right.
Then it explodes late, and I see 8.5. I'm like, that's the top. We're good. We'll just bet under 8.5, and we'll have, a small loser, a small winner either way. I don't know what happened late. The game finishes 7-2. Nobody knows shit. I got to make another deposit because my account got too low. I got aggravated, and I said, yeah, this is fun. Remember why you were in the book and not on the other side of the counter. Mets
Bust,
tonight, Kevin. I like
bust.
the Greinke play.
They're due, right? I mean, I know I was making a joke because I'm very serious, but I was making a joke on this. Did it feel like that Guardians Twins series? There was like 27 games they played this past weekend.
That's what you do. You slide in while you're being serious, a joke, and I'm literally, I don't know if I was muted or not. I was laughing hysterically because at some point over the weekend I thought, how many games do they play?
How many rainouts do they have? My God, they're playing so many games.
They had to put them together. They had to put them together, and I thought the same thing. So when I heard you say it, it did feel like a long time. But this Guardians team is good. We
Yeah.
got them at Cease today. Cease seems so overpriced. It seems so. currently 165, 170 in different places. I like Cleveland plus. It got to be. But again, it's baseball, bro. Who knows?
Baseball is easier than football. That's what I feel like. Everyone's like, oh,
I
baseball.
think so too.
Yeah.
Professionals that bet and consistently make money at this, bet baseball. It's a grind. It's hard. But you know what? If you bet the Dodgers every day, let alone Dodgers on the run line, you're doing pretty damn good right now.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Bostonian versus the book. Where can people find it?
Bostonian versus the book, thank you, sir, is Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern, available on props.com and YouTube. My personal stuff is Cash Considerations and 8 in the Box. We do those every week. They're on the Cash Considerations podcast YouTube channel. I'm on Sports Grid and Sirius XM every night from 4 to 7 Pacific, 7 to 10 Eastern. We do a lot of in-game stuff. And then we're doing MLB Network. We're still trying to determine exactly what we're going to do for the playoffs. At some point, I was hoping Miami would get good and I could come down to Miami for cover a playoff series, but we're done with that right now. We don't worry about that. Sandy's going to win the Cy Young, though, and hockey season starts in less than 2 weeks.
It's coming. It's coming. Zdeno Chara, didn't realize he played 25 years. That was a stat I didn't know.
25.
Yeah.
I can't even believe it. I can barely still tie my skates.
7 feet tall, Zdeno Chara. He's a large gentleman.
Biggest guy I ever saw on skates in person. I was just staring at him during pregame. I was, on the other side of the glass going, I don't even know how you even get by him. Crazy.
Thank you, Dave.
See you, Kev. Thank you, sir. Talk soon.
All right, Dave Sharapan right there, Sportsbook Consig. You can find him there on Twitter. And always going to talk to Dave. Brian Edwards is going to join us in just a second. But before we get to Brian, want to tell you about BetMGM. Our friends at BetMGM, we're good friends now. I mean, I've not met Jamie Foxx yet, but I do like his work. Kick off the new pro football season with the king of sportsbooks. Sign up with BetMGM using the bonus code VIBonus, and your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. That's VIBonus, all one word, no spaces, and your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. Visit betmgm.com for terms and conditions. It is available in the following states: Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Michigan, Mississippi, Nevada, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, Washington, D.C., West Virginia, Wyoming, and Ontario. Must be 21 years or older to wager. Again, that is BetMGM. All right, let's bring on our friend. We have not had him yet on Down to the Wire, but he is here now, Brian Edwards, at Vegas B. Edwards, the biggest Gator fan you will ever find. How do you feel about the Gators this week, Brian? They're getting double digits at Tennessee.
I'd feel a lot better about them if I knew Ventrell Miller was going to play. I don't think he is. He did post something on Instagram today that he was jogging, but there were a bunch of replies to it, like as if it was some sort of something where he only had to put 75% of his weight on. It was beyond me. I didn't really know. But anyway, I don't think he's going to play. We had freshman linebackers hitting the wrong gaps last week, and we're fortunate to beat USF, which is pretty embarrassing. But whenever the Gators are struggling, the place where we go to get right is Knoxville, Neyland Stadium. We call it the Swamp North, and we've called it that for a long time. Florida's 16-1 in the last 17 meetings with the Vols, winning 11 of those 16 by double-digit margins. They've won 5 in a row, going 4-1 against the spread. The only cover for UT. They scored 2 late touchdowns, including one on a 4th and 10 pass late in the 2020 game. The last 5 wins by the Gators have come by an average margin of 20 points per game. Florida stunk it up the other night, so we're getting good line value with the Gators. I think if Keaton Slovis doesn't get hurt and plays in the second half healthy, I think Pittsburgh beats Tennessee, and then we have a different conversation. Tennessee would be 2-1 with wins over Ball State and Akron, who are 2 of the worst teams in the country. So Florida is a double-digit underdog. Give it to me. I would like it more if I thought or knew Ventrell Miller was playing. I tend to think he's not going to. But, Florida is running the ball well. And it got to – look, I know we don't really have a backup with Jack Miller injured, but we got to run Anthony Richardson. We have to. That's his strength. And if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. But I mean, we've got to run him. That's what he does well.
But Anthony Richardson, Brian, in that Utah game, it felt like he was almost unstoppable on that last drive, that Utah couldn't take him down. What's happened the last 2 games? I know Kentucky had the pick 6 and USF. His numbers have not been good. He didn't play against Tennessee last year. What's been the problem since that Utah game?
Well, Kentucky had a great plan. Mark Stoops did a great job. They had a spy on him, and we ran a quarterback draw on 3rd and 5 early, and the spy stuck him, like gave him a good stick. And I wonder if that just got Napier a little gun shy. I mean, it was only week 2 and we got a long season. So Florida has no experience behind Richardson. Now, Jack Miller was a 4-star transfer from Ohio State that they feel good about, but he hurt his thumb in like mid-August. He's supposed to be back soon, but he's not ready quite yet. So, I think Napier's just been a little nervous about running Richardson, with his health in mind. And I'm okay with that, at times. But, I mean, Florida has to win this game or they're out of the SEC race, period, end of story. So you got to win this game. You got to run him. And if we lose, the season's over pretty much anyway. So if he gets hurt, the season's over. Or if we lose, the season's over. So run him. Let him – he can be the most dynamic runner in the country. And we got to do that.
It's just funny for a while, Brian. It was Kentucky wasn't very good. They've improved, obviously. Tennessee was down. They've improved, and Florida draws them both out of the gate. And usually those were just 2 easy wins for Florida. And now, it's a lot tougher. I want to ask you this, just staying in the SEC. Who's a better team right now, Georgia or Alabama?
Georgia.
Easy?
Georgia. It's an easy decision right now. I think we're going to find out Texas is actually pretty good, but, Alabama was so fortunate to win that game. They had no business winning that game. And, Georgia just, and then we see Oregon play pretty good against a BYU team that I think is pretty good. So, I think Georgia, they dominated Oregon. Granted, Oregon had to come across the country, but then they just went into a really true road environment and with a raucous crowd ready to go and just smashed South Carolina early and often. Now, South Carolina is dealing with some injuries on defense, and they were having to play a lot of young guys. But still, that was just complete boat racing. And, Georgia looks scary good right now. But it's early. We got a whole season to play.
So Saturday, the big SEC matchup, you have Texas A&M and Arkansas, and Arkansas has been a good underdog, I should say, under Sam Pittman, and just a tough game against Missouri State. Probably look ahead. They struggled with. They were down in the second half, came back and won. And for Jimbo, they lose the App State game. We see App State, is a pretty decent team, but they hold off Miami, and now A&M, the short favorite, game in Dallas at Jerry's World. But you do like Arkansas here in this game against Texas A&M on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think it's comical that A&M is favored. I find that just amusing and great. I love it. I think Arkansas is going to win this game by 2 or 3 touchdowns. I think they're going to beat their ass. Rocket Sanders is playing great football other than that fumble he had at the goal line the other day. 4th in the nation in rushing yards. 2nd in the nation yards from scrimmage per game, 185.7. I think he's worth a small play to win the Heisman at 150-1. KJ Jefferson's playing great, 70.5 completion percentage, 770 yards, 6-1 TDI-NT ratio, 169 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. This is my favorite play of the week. I think Arkansas is going to put it on these boys early and often.
Now, what about the Carolina game? Carolina-Notre Dame. Notre Dame finally got in the win column. It has not been easy for the Fighting Irish. And I don't know if Brian Kelly was right by leaving, like he knew, or he got the money to LSU, whatever it was. But it seems like Notre Dame, with all the struggles they've had the first few weeks, they actually hung with Ohio State for a half. Then Ohio State beat them, in the second half. They lose the Marshall game, and then they barely beat Cal. But now Notre Dame travels to Chapel Hill. Carolina, they had that high-scoring game against App State. They're 3-0. Max maybe got them going in the right direction, but you like Carolina at home?
I do. They've had 2 weeks to prepare. They've got revenge on their mind. They're getting Josh Downs back, their All-American receiver who's missed the last 2 games, or at least he's on track to play according to On3's Matt Zenitz reported that yesterday. And yeah, I would think he's ready by now. I mean, it's been a month since he's played, or that August. Yeah, come this weekend, it will have been a month. Look, North Carolina's got some issues defensively, but not more so than Notre Dame has issues offensively. That just complete BS call on the not offsides on the field goal which Notre Dame missed, and then got a bogus penalty to give them a first down, got a touchdown 2 plays later. That completely turned that game. I think they probably lose that game if not for that nonsense call. And then we would be talking about an 0-3 team. Drake May, this guy is big time, man. He's been fantastic, even without his 2 best receivers one of them for 3 games and the other one the last 2. 11-1 TDI and T ratio, 74.2 completion percentage, 930 passing yards, 146 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, 5.6 yards per carry average. This guy is big time, and I don't think North Carolina's defensive woes will stand out as much against Notre Dame offense that is pedestrian at best.
Brian, before I let you go, 1 or 2 other plays that you like for Saturday?
Yeah, I'm going to go over 59 on Alabama Vandy, and I'm looking for this team total, and I'm seeing all the team totals, but I'm just not seeing one for Alabama. So with the team total, or at least I haven't found it yet, with that not being an option, I'll go over 59 on Vandy, Alabama. The over's 4-0 for Vandy, combined scores of 73, 73, 70, and 66. Now, the fear is obviously that Vandy's not going to score because I think it's a given Alabama's going to get 50 or so. But this kid, A.J. Swan's pretty good. True freshman quarterback, gets a surprising first start last week and throws for 255 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's got 6 touchdown passes, no interceptions on the year. And they've got Will Shepherd, who's having a big-time season so far. I think they can find a way to get 10, maybe 14 or 17 points. And it's a given Alabama's going to get, 49 minimum and maybe all 60 that we need. But, I mean, look, Alabama's team total, whatever it is, whenever it's out, that's probably a good play over. But I don't know those numbers, so hard to say that. And, look, Charlotte's defense continue to look to play. Now, I don't know that I want to I want to play the over on South Carolina's team total for the game at 45.5. And Charlotte actually might be a look this week with Chris Reynolds back. He was fantastic, leading them to a 42-41 win over Georgia State last week. A Georgia State team that was, had a lead mid-third quarter at South Carolina. So Charlotte's catching, 22? So anything over on that game, I'm not against. Maybe a first half over, which I don't know if that's even out yet. But just Charlotte's defense is horrible. And now with Reynolds back, their offense is going to be good. And the over is hitting all 4. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It did not hit in the FAU game when Reynolds got hurt, but it's hitting 3 in a row for Charlotte.
You can find Brian on Twitter at VegasBEdwards. Also, Brian, before we let you go, your podcast that you have, your college football podcast, tell people where they can find it.
Yeah, Bet CFB. It's on the Vegas Insider Pod networks, wherever you do your podcasting. We've got VSiN's Jonathan Van Tobel, aka JVT, is going to be the guest onto the show. We'll record late Wednesday, and it'll be dropping first thing Thursday morning, and it's twice a week. The other show drops first thing Monday morning, and the show with our picks leading into the next week drops on Thursday mornings.
All right. That is Brian Edwards. And Brian, good luck at the Swamp North. We'll see if they can take care of Rocky Top on Saturday.
Probably will. We usually do. Thanks, K-Raj.
That easy, right? It's that easy. Thanks, Brian. Brian Edwards. Always good to have him on here on Down to the Wire. Also, Brian, we have him on, or I have him on every Tuesday. We look ahead to college football best bets for the week ahead. And you can find those on our YouTube channel at Vegas Insider TV. He actually gave 2 of those out here on the show with North Carolina and with which other game he had? He had North Carolina and shoot. I remember the third one. Oh, it was Arkansas. I just did it today. I can't remember anymore. My mind is mush. Arkansas and North Carolina. He had also Clemson, Wake Forest play on there as well. You can find that on our YouTube channel at Vegas Insider TV. All right, let's go over really quick my MLB strikeout prop of the night. And Kyle Freeland of the Rockies, we're going to go under his strikeout total of 4.5, and it's at plus money against the Giants at Coors Field. Now, Freeland has gone over this total. It's 5 and 8 strikeouts and 2 starts against San Francisco this year, but his strikeout total is 3.5 in each of those games. He's pitched well. He's coming off a win. In fact, we talked about Dylan Cease earlier of the White Sox. He's starting for Chicago tonight against Cleveland. Cease lost his last time out against the Rockies at Guaranteed Rate Field, and he was opposed by Kyle Freeland, who beat him. And Freeland's looked good his last 2 starts, coming off underdog wins against the White Sox and the Brewers. And his strikeout numbers have been up, but I think that Freeland here, getting some plus money on him, I don't want to go laying 140, 150 on his strikeout total. So let's take the under tonight at plus money for Kyle Freeland as our strikeout total this evening in Major League Baseball. We'll get to some other Major League Baseball, look at some of the lines in just a second. I want to tell you about the new Vegas Insider app, and you can find this right now. It's really, really cool. And if you love what we do at Vegas Insider, you want to check out the brand new Vegas Insider app. We've got up-to-date, easy-to-navigate odds for every major sport. We also have our latest shows, best bet videos and podcasts, props, trends, futures, news, all on the free Vegas Insider app. You can download the Vegas Insider app right now on Apple or Android devices. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app. So a really cool feature. And you could find not only all the odds for Major League Baseball, NFL, college football, but also you could find a lot of props there too. So if you like playing props, you could find those there very easily on the Vegas Insider app. Now, taking a quick look at some of the Major League Baseball, this is just stunning to me. This is unbelievable. So the Diamondbacks led the Dodgers 5-1. LA's come back, take a 6-5 lead in the 9th inning. It's just crazy that you can never count that Dodger team out. But that's the first game of a doubleheader. So Arizona's got to come back and play a second game against the Dodgers. That one later on, and LA's laying almost $3 in that game. But a couple of the highlight games we talked about with Dave Sharapan, the Mets and the Brewers at 7:40 from Milwaukee. Mets won the opener last night. They're laying 120, total of 8. Carrasco and Ashby on the mound in that game. Cardinals-Padres, really good matchup out in San Diego, 9:40, 3 hours from now. Clevenger and Wainwright. The Padres laying 110, and that total at 8. Astros and Rays just underway. McClanahan and Javier on the mound there. Houston won last night. Rays closed as a 140 favorite. The White Sox and the Guardians, Cease and Savali on the mound. And Chicago laying 165, 170, total of 7. Seattle's at Oakland. Luis Castillo's laying over $2 in that one. Blue Jays, Phillies in Philadelphia. Toronto, a 120 favorite on the road. And the Red Sox laying 120 against the Reds on the road. And that game getting underway in just a few minutes. That total at 8.5. And that's a look at Major League Baseball for tonight. Don't forget tomorrow to tune in to Chasing That Paper, 11 a.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel, Vegas Insider TV. Joe Osborne, he will be taking over, manning the wheel for that, looking ahead to baseball and also some NFL picks for the week. So check that out. Chasing That Paper at 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. Also, Down to the Wires back at 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Joe Madden's in tomorrow on Wednesday night. She does a great job. So check it out on our YouTube channel at Vegas Insider TV. My thanks to Dave Sharapan and Brian Edwards for joining us. Spencer Ray for running the show. Does a great job as always. I am Kevin Rogers. Thanks a lot for watching. And we'll talk to you again. I'll be back on Thursday. Joe's in tomorrow. I'll be back on Thursday. We'll have some contest picks and look ahead to the Steelers and the Browns as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We greatly appreciate it. Again, I am Kevin Rogers. Thanks a lot for watching. And as always, best of luck with your bets.